Hello, how to solve n times n times n, and this equals n plus n plus n. We are solving for all values of n that satisfy this equation. Now, n times n is n power 2 times n. This is n to the power of 3. And this equals n plus n, that is 2n plus n. This is 3n. So from here, I can move this over here. It becomes n power 3 minus 3n equals 0. Now, there is n here and there is n here. I can factor out n. I have n times n power 3 divided by n. This is n power 2 minus 3n divided by n. This is 3 and this equals 0. So right now, I can equate each of this to 0. I have n equals 0, or I have n squared minus 3 and this equals 0. Now, this is solved already. This is one of the solutions. To solve this, we need to consider this identity. If I have square root of x raised to the power of 2, this is the same thing as writing x. Simply because the square root here is the same thing as having x power 1 over 2. And if you raise this to the power of 2, then you remember the identity of a power n raised to the power of m, which equals a power n times m. Considering this identity, you multiply this exponent. Then what you are going to have will be 1 over 2 times 2, which is 2 over 2. This is x power 2 over 2. And this will give you x because 2 over 2 is 1, which is the same thing as x power 1, which is the same thing as x. So, we are going to simply replace this 3 here with square root of 3 raised to the power of 2. That means we are going to have n power 2 minus square root of 3 raised to the power of 2, and this equals 0. Now, this is power 2, this is power 2. So, and there's minus here, I can consider difference of 2 squares. If I have a power 2 minus b power 2, this equals a minus b times a plus b. And in this case, a equals n and b equals root 3. So from here, the a here we are going to have, this is n minus b is root 3 times a again, that is n plus root 3, and this equals 0. So from here, we can equate each of these to 0. I have n minus root 3 equals 0, and also have n plus root 3 equals 0. So from here, I can have my n2 equals positive root 3 because this moves over here, and my n3 equals negative root 3. So I have 3 different solutions, which are n1 equals 0, n2 equals root 3, and n3 equals negative root 3. So what we are going to do next will be to test for each of these values if they are going to satisfy the equation. So we have check. We start with when n equals 0, then proceed to when n equals root 3, then also have n equals negative root 3. Now the question still remains, we have n times n times n equals n plus n plus n. Right? Good. So when n equals 0, considering this one, we are simply going to have 0 times 0 times 0 equals 0 plus 0 plus 0. So 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, this is 0 equals 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. Left hand side equals right hand side. This has satisfied the equation. Now let's consider when n equals root 3. So when n equals root 3, we are simply going to use the same equation, which is this. So we are going to have this is root 3 times root 3 times root 3 equals, is it the same thing as root 3 plus root 3 plus root 3? So let's find out that right now. Root 3 times root 3, that is root 9 times root 3. And this equals root 3 plus root 3. The coefficient here is 1. The coefficient here is 1. So 1 root 3 plus 1 root 3, this is 2 root 3 plus another 1 root 3 here. The coefficient is 1. So root 9 is 3. We have 3 times root 3 equals 2 root 3 plus 1 root 3. This will give you 3 root 3. And from here, 3 times root 3, we are going to have 3 root 3. And this equals 3 root 3. Left hand side equals right hand side. Now let's consider when n equals negative root 3. And the question remains n times n times n equals n plus n plus n. So we are simply going to have negative root 3 times negative root 3 times negative root 3 equals negative root 3 plus negative root 3 plus negative root 3. So negative root 3 times negative root 3. Negative times negative is positive, so this is positive root 9 times negative root 3. And this equals, the coefficient here is negative 1. The coefficient here is negative 1. Negative 1 root 3 plus negative 1 root 3. This is negative 2 root 3. Then we have plus times minus root 3 will give you minus root 3. And the coefficient here is negative 1. Well, good. Root 9, this is 3 times negative root 3 equals negative 2 root 3 minus 1 root 3. This will give you negative 3 root 3. Now 3 times negative root 3. Remember this 3 is positive, so positive and negative. This is negative 3 root 3. And this equals negative 3 root 3. So this shows that the left hand side again equals the right hand side, meaning that all the 3 solutions are obviously very correct, from 0 to root 3, then to negative root 3. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you and goodbye.